Have you ever wondered if you could follow God completely? Like Moses did in the Old Testament. Because Moses, he was great at following God, right? Well, he was. There's a story in Exodus chapter 17 where God tells Moses to go to a rock and to strike it, and water would come out and provide for the Israelites' needs while they were wandering through the wilderness without water. And Moses does exactly what God says. He goes and he grabs his staff and he strikes the rock, and out of it flows water for all of the people. What an incredible story that is. But there's a mirroring story in Numbers. It is Numbers chapter 20, where God tells Moses three things. He says, take your staff, gather all of the people together, and speak to the rock. Once again, they're without water. They're in desperate need, and the Israelites are complaining. Why did you bring us out here? You should have left us in Egypt, where we had enough to drink. And Moses follows what God has instructed him. And the story, as it's being told, mirrors what we heard before. Moses gets his staff. He's doing what God has said. He gathers all the people together. He's following God's instructions. And you expect, as you're walking through this story, oh, Moses, the one who has walked through the wilderness, who has parted the Red Sea with this staff, who has struck the rock and it opened forth water. Moses is going to follow God's instructions. He has so far. But then Moses does something unexpected. He speaks not to the rock, but to the people. And he says, you rebellious people, do me and Aaron have to call forth water from this rock for you, to provide for you? He takes the credit for all of the things that God has done, and he follows through and strikes the rock. Once he was called to strike the rock, and he obeyed. This time he was called to speak to the rock, but instead he spoke to the people, and he struck the rock. And oftentimes when we read this story, we think, man, I really need to be careful around God, because if I mess up, even if I have this great track record, and I do one little thing wrong, God is going to be on me and he's going to punish me for that. And Moses, the consequences of this action are he doesn't get to go into the promised land. It might begin on the surface level to paint that picture, but I think it tells a different story. One in which Moses, although he's an incredible figure, a powerful leader, and a man of faith, Moses, who after he has died, is the first to be resurrected by Jesus, as it talks about in Jude. Even that Moses makes mistakes. Even he messed up. He was a human being. Although he is a powerful figure, he's not the hero of this story. No, this story leads us to question, who can possibly do for us what we can't do for ourselves? It creates an anticipation. We need the human representative that the Bible talks about. We need that seed, that offspring. We need somebody who can fulfill the law, who can follow God completely, because none of us can. That person is Jesus. Jesus is the one who can step into this world, who follows God entirely, and who rescues humanity. Jesus, the one who describes himself as the rock and as the living water, the one who was struck and beaten so that we could have life. He is the hero of this story.